King Lear by William Shakespeare. Act I scene I King Lear's palace meantime we shall express our darker purpose. Give me the map there. Know that we have divided in three our kingdom, and 'tis our fast intent to shake all cares and business from our age, conferring them on younger strengths, while we unburthened crawl toward death. Our son of Cornwall, and you, our no less loving son of Albany, we have this hour a constant will to publish our daughters' several dowers, that future strife may be prevented now. The princes, France and Burgundy, great rivals in our youngest daughter's love, long in our cot have made their amorous sojourn, and here are to be answered. Tell me, my daughters, since now we will divest us both of rule, interest of territory, cares of state, which of you shall we say doth love us most, that we our largest bounty may extend where nature doth with merit challenge? Goneril, our eldest born, speak first. Sir, I love you more than words can wield the matter. Dearer than eyesight, space, and liberty, beyond what can be valued, rich or rare. No less than life with grace, health, beauty, honor, as much as child ere loved or father found, a love that makes breath poor and speech unable, beyond all manner of so much I love you. Of all these bounds, even from this line to this, with shadowy forests and with champaigns riched, with plenteous rivers and wide-skirted meads, we make thee lady, to thine and Albany's issue be this perpetual. What says our second daughter, our dearest Regan, wife to Cornwall? Speak, sir, I am made of the self-same metal that my sister is, and prize me at her worth. In my true heart I find she names my very deed of love, only she comes too short, that I profess myself an enemy to all other joys, which the most precious square of sense possesses, and find I am alone felicitate in your dear highness love. Aside, then poor Cordelia, and yet not so, since, I am sure, my love's more richer than my tongue. To thee and thine hereditary ever remain this ample third of our fair kingdom, no less in space, validity, and pleasure than that conferred on Goneril. Now, our joy, although the last, not least, to whose young love the vines of France and milk of Burgundy strive to be interest, what can you say to draw a third more opulent than your sisters? Speak. Unhappy that I am, I cannot heave my heart into my mouth. I love your majesty according to my bond, nor more nor less. How, Cordelia? Mend your speech a little, lest it may mar your fortunes. Good my lord, you have begot me, bred me, loved me. I return those duties back as a right fit, obey you, love you, and most honor you. Why have my sisters husbands if they say they love you all? Haply, when I shall wed, that lord whose hand must take my plight shall carry half my love with him, half my care and duty. Sure, I shall never marry like my sisters to love my father all. Let it be so. Thy truth, then, be thy dower, for by the sacred radiance of the sun, the mysteries of Hecate and the night, by all the operation of the orbs from whom we do exist and cease to be, here I disclaim all my paternal care, propinquity and property of blood, and as a stranger to my heart and me hold thee from this forever. The barbarous Scythian, all he that makes his generation messes to gauge his appetite, shall to my bosom be as well neighboured, pitied, and relieved as thou my sometime daughter. Peace, Kent, come not between the dragon and his wrath. I loved her most, and thought to set my rest on her kind nursery. Hence, and avoid my sight, so be my grave my peace, as here I give her father's heart from her. Call France, who stirs, call Burgundy. Cornwall and Albany, with my two daughters' dowers digest this third. Let pride, which she calls plainness, marry her. I do invest you jointly with my power, preeminence, and all the lodge effects that troop with majesty. Ourself, by monthly costs, with reservation of 100 knights by you to be sustained, shall our abode make with you by due turns. Only we still retain the name, and all the additions to a king, the sway, revenue, execution of the rest, beloved sons, be yours, which to confirm, this coronet pot betwixt you, giving the crown. Royal Lear, whom I have ever honored as my king, loved as my father, as my master followed, as my great patron thought on in my prayers. The bow is bent and drawn, make from the shaft. Let it fall rather, though the falk invade the region of my heart, be Kent unmannerly, when Lear is mad. What wilt thou do, old man? Think'st thou that duty shall have dread to speak, when power to flattery bows, to plainness honour's bound, when majesty stoops to folly? Reverse thy doom, and in thy best consideration, check this hideous rashness. Answer my life my judgment, thy youngest daughter does not love thee least, nor are those empty-hearted whose low sound reverbs no hollowness. Kent, on thy life, no more. My life I never held but as a pawn to wage against thy enemies, nor fear to lose it, thy safety being the motive. See better, Lear, and let me still remain the true blank of thine eye. Now, by Apollo, king, thou swear'st thy gods in vain. Do kill thy physician, and the fee bestow upon thy foul disease. Revoke thy doom? Ah, whilst I can vent clamour from my throat, I'll tell thee thou dost evil. Hear me, recreant, on thine allegiance hear me, since thou hast sought to make us break our vow, which we durst never yet, and with strained pride to come between our sentence and our power, which nor our nature nor our place can bear, our potency made good, take thy reward. 5 days we do allot thee, for provision to shield thee from diseases of the world, and on the 6th to turn thy hated back upon our kingdom. If on the 10th day following thy banished trunk be found in our dominions, the moment is thy death. Away? By Jupiter, this shall not be revoked. Fare thee well, king. Sit thus thou wilt appear, freedom lives hence, and banishment is here. To Cordelia, the gods to their dear shelter take thee, maid, that justly think'st, and hast most rightly said, to Regan and Goneril. And your large speeches may your deeds approve, that good effects may spring from words of love. Thus Kent, O princes, bids you all adieu, he'll shape his old cause in a country new. Exit. My lord of Burgundy, we first address towards you, who with this king hath rivalled for our daughter. What, in the least, will you require in present dower with her, or cease your quest of love? Most royal majesty, I crave no more than what your highness offered, nor will you tender less. Right noble Burgundy, when she was dear to us, we did hold her so, but now her price is fallen. Sir, there she stands, if aught within that little seeming substance, or all of it, with our displeasure pieced, and nothing more, may fitly like your grace, she's there, and she is yours. Will you, with those infirmities she owes, unfriended, new adopted to our hate, dowered with our curse, and stranged with our oath, take her, all leave her? Pardon me, royal sir, election makes not up on such conditions. Then leave her, sir, for by the power that made me, I tell you all her wealth. To King of France. For you, great king, I would not from your love make such a stray to match you where I hate. Therefore beseech you to avert your liking a more worthier way than on a wretch whom nature is ashamed almost to acknowledge hers. This is most strange, that she, that even but now was your best object, the argument of your praise, balm of your age, most best, most dearest, should in this trice of time commit a thing so monstrous, to dismantle so many folds of favour. Sure her offence must be of such unnatural degree, that monsters it, all your far-vouched affection fallen into taint, which to believe of her, must be a faith that reason without miracle could never plant in me. I yet beseech your majesty, if for I want that glib and oily art, to speak and purpose not, since what I well intend, I'll dot before I speak, that you make known it is no vicious blot, murder, or foulness, no unchaste action, or dishonoured step, that hath deprived me of your grace and favour, but even for want of that for which I am richer, a still soliciting eye, and such a tongue as I am glad I have not, though not to have it hath lost me in your liking. Better thou hadst not been born than not to have pleased me better. Is it but this, a tardiness in nature which often leaves the history unspoke that it intends to do? My lord of Burgundy, what say you to the lady? Love's not love when it is mingled with regards that stand aloof from the entire point. Will you have her? She is herself a dowry. Royal Lear, give but that caution which yourself proposed, and here I take Cordelia by the hand, Duchess of Burgundy. I am sorry, then, you have so lost a father that you must lose a husband. Peace be with Burgundy, since that respects of Fortuna his love, I shall not be his wife. Fairest Cordelia, that art most rich, being poor, most choice, forsaken, and most loved, despised, thee and thy virtues here I seize upon, be it lawful I take up what's cast away. Gods, 'tis strange that from their coldst neglect my love should kindle to inflamed respect. Thy dowerless daughter, king, thrown to my chance, is queen of us, of ours, and our fair France. Not all the dukes of waterish Burgundy can buy this unprized precious made of me. Bid them farewell, Cordelia, though unkind, thou losest here, a better where to find. Thou hast her, France, let her be thine, for we have no such daughter, nor shall ever see that face of hers again. Therefore be gone without our grace, our love, our benison. Come, noble Burgundy, flourish, exeunt all but King of France, Goneril, Regan, and Cordelia. The jewels of our father, with washed eyes Cordelia leaves you. I know you what you are, and like a sister am most loath to call your faults as they are named. Use well our father, to your professed bosoms I commit him, but yet, alas, stood I within his grace, I would prefer him to a better place. So, farewell to you both. Let your study be to content your lord, who hath received you at Fortune's alms. You have obedience scanted, and well a worth the want that you have wanted. Time shall unfold what plated cunning hides, who cover faults at last shame them derides. Well may you prosper? Seen room into the Earl of Gloucester's castle. Thou, nature, art my goddess, to thy law my services are bound. Wherefore should I stand in the plague of custom, and permit the curiosity of nations to deprive me? For that I am some 12 or 14 moonshines lag of a brother. Why bastard? Wherefore base? When my dimensions are as well compact, my mind as generous, and my shape as true as honest madam's issue, why brand they us with base, with baseness, bastardy, base? Who, in the lusty stealth of nature, take more composition and fierce quality than doth, within a dull, stale, tired bed, go to the creating a whole tribe of fops, got tween asleep and wake. Well then, legitimate Edgar, I must have your land. Our father's love is to the bastard Edmund as to the legitimate, fine word, legitimate. Well, my legitimate, if this let us speed, and my invention thrive, Edmund the base shall top the legitimate. I grow, I prosper, now, gods, stand up for bastards. Kent banished thus, and France in cola potted, and the king gone tonight, subscribed his power, confined to exhibition, all this done upon the gad. Edmund, how now, what news? Scene Roman 3. The Duke of Albany's palace, by day and night he wrongs me. Every hour he flashes into one gross crime or other, that sets us all at odds. I'll not endure it. His nights grow riotous, and himself upbraids us on every trifle. When he returns from hunting, I will not speak with him. Say I am sick, if you come slack of farmer services, you shall do well. The fault of it I'll answer. Put on what weary negligence you please, you and your fellows. I'll have it come to question. If he dislike it, let him to our sister, whose mind and mine, I know, in that are one, not to be overruled. Idle old man, that still would manage those authorities that he hath given away. Now, by my life, old fools are babes again, and must be used with checks as flatteries, when they are seen abused. Remember what I tell you. And let his knights have colder looks among you. What grows of it, no matter. Advise your fellows so. I would breed from hence occasions, and I shall, that I may speak. I'll write straight to my sister to hold my very cause. Prepare for dinner. Exeunt. Scene Roman for a hall in the same. If but as well I other accents borrow, that can my speech diffuse, my good intent may carry through itself to that full issue for which I raised my likeness. Now, banished Kent, if thou canst serve where thou dost stand condemned, so may it come thy master, whom thou lovest, shall find thee full of labours. Mock it, nuncle, have more than thou showest, speak less than thou knowest, lend less than thou owest, ride more than thou goest, learn more than thou trowest, set less than thou throwest, leave thy drink and thy haw, and keep in a daw, and thou shalt have more than 2 tens to a scaw. That laud that counselled thee to give away thy land, come place him here by me, do thou for him stand. The sweet and bitter fool will presently appear, the one in motley here, the other found out there, singing. Fools had ne'er less wit in a year, for wise men are grown foppish, they know not how their wits to wear, their manners are so apish, singing. Then they for sudden joy did weep, and I for sorrow sung, that such a king should play bo peep and go the fools among. Mum, he that keeps naw crust naw crumb, weary of all, shall want some. Not only, sir, this your all-licensed fool, but other of your insolent retinue do hourly cop and quarrel, breaking forth in rank and not to be endured riots. Sir, I had thought, by making this well known unto you, to have found a safe redress, but now grow fearful, by what yourself too late have spoken done, that you protect this cause and put it on by your allowance, which if you should, the fault would not scape censure, nor the redresses sleep, which, in the tender of a wholesome weal, might in their working do you that offence, which else were shame, that then necessity will call discreet proceeding. For you trow, nuncle, the hedge sparrow fed the cuckoo so long, that it's had it head bit off by it young. So, out went the candle, and we were left dockling. Come, sir, I would you would make use of that good wisdom, whereof I know you are fraught, and put away these dispositions, that of late transform you from what you rightly are. Doth any here know me? This is not Lear. Doth Lear walk thus, speak thus? Where are his eyes? Either his notion weakens, his discernings are lethargied, waking. 'Tis not so. Who is it that can tell me who I am? This admiration, sir, is much o' the savour of other your new pranks. I do beseech you to understand my purposes aright, as you are old and reverend, you should be wise. Here do you keep 100 knights and squires, men so disordered, so debauched and bold, that this our cot, infected with their manners, shows like a riotous inn. Epicurism and lust make it more like a tavern or a brothel than a graced palace. The shame itself doth speak for instant remedy. Be then desired by her, that else will take the thing she begs, a little to disquantity your train, and the remainder that shall still depend, to be such men as may besot your age, and know themselves and you. Darkness and devils, saddle my hosses, call my train together, degenerate bastard. I'll not trouble thee, yet have I left a daughter. You strike my people, and your disordered rabble make servants of their betters. Woe that too late repents to Albany. "Oh, sir, are you come? Is it your will? Speak, sir, prepare my horses. Ingratitude, thou marble-hearted fiend, more hideous when thou show'st thee in a child than the sea monster, to Goneril. Detested kite, thou least. My train are men of choice and rarest parts that all particulars of duty know, and in the most exact regard support the worships of their name. O most small fault, how ugly didst thou in Cordelia show, that, like an engine, wrenched my frame of nature from the fixed place, drew from hot all love, and added to the gall. O Lear, 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 beat at this gate that let thy folly in, striking his head, and thy dear judgment out, go, go, my people. My lord, I am guiltless, as I am ignorant of what hath moved you. It may be so, my lord. Here, nature, here, dear goddess, here, suspend thy purpose if thou didst intend to make this creature fruitful. Into her womb convey sterility, dry up in her the organs of increase, and from her derogate body never spring a babe to honor her. If she must teem, create her child of spleen, that it may live, and be a thwart disnatured torment to her. Let it stamp wrinkles in her brow of youth, with cadent tears fret channels in her cheeks, turn all her mother's pains and benefits to laughter and contempt, that she may feel how sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child. Away, away, exit. Never afflict yourself to know the cause, but let his disposition have that scope that dotage gives it. What, 50 of my followers at a clap, within a fortnight? I'll tell thee, to Goneril. Life and death, I am ashamed that thou hast power to shake my manhood thus, that these hot tears, which break from me perforce, should make thee worth them. Blasts and fogs upon thee, the untented woundings of a father's curse pierce every sense about thee. Old fond eyes, beweep this cause again, I'll pluck ye out and cast you, with the waters that you lose, to temper clay. Yea, it is come to this, let it be so. Yet have I left a daughter, who, I am sure, is kind and comfortable. When she shall hear this of thee, with her nails shall flay thy wolvish visage. Thou shalt find that I'll resume the shape which thou dost think I have cast off forever. Thou shalt, I warrant thee. Exeunt King Lear, Kent, and attendants. I cannot be so partial, Goneril, to the great love I bear you. Nuncle Lear, tarry and take the fool with thee. A fox, when one has caught her and such a daughter, should sure to the slaughter, if my cap would buy a halter. So the fool follows after. Exit. This man hath had good counsel, 100 knights, 'tis politic and safe to let him keep at point 100 knights. Yes, that, on every dream, each buzz, each fancy, each complaint dislike, he may engod his dotage with their powers, and hold our lives in mercy. Oswald, I say, safer than trust too far, let me still take away the harms I fear, not fear still to be taken. I know his heart. What he hath uttered I have ripped my sister if she sustain him and his 100 knights when I have showed the unfitness. How now? Oswald, what, have you writ that letter to my sister? Take you some company and away to Hoss. Inform her full of my particular fear, and thereto add such reasons of your own as may compact it more. Get you gone, and hasten your return. Exit Oswald. No, no, my lord, this milky gentleness and cause of yours though I condemn not, yet, under pardon, you are much more tasked for one of wisdom than praised for harmful mildness. How far your eyes may pierce I cannot tell, striving to better, oft we mar what's well. Seen thee caught before the same. Go you before to Gloucester with these letters. Acquaint my daughter no further with anything you know than comes from her demand out of the letter. If your diligence be not speedy, I shall be there afore you. Oh, let me not be mad, not mad, sweet heaven, keep me in temper, I would not be mad. She that's a maid now, and laughs at my departure, shall not be a maid long, unless things be cut shorter. Exeunt King Lear by William Shakespeare. Uncopyright may you do good and not evil. May you find forgiveness for yourself and forgive others. May you share freely, never taking more than you give. Copyright pages exist to tell you that you can't do something. Unlike them, this uncopyright page exists to tell you that the writing and artwork in this ebook are believed to be in the United States public domain. That is, they are believed to be free of copyright restrictions in the United States. The United States public domain represents our collective cultural heritage, and items in it are free for anyone in the United States to do almost anything at all with, without having to get permission. Copyright laws are different all over the world, and the source text or artwork in this ebook may still be copyrighted in other countries. If you're not located in the United States, you must check your local laws before using this ebook. Standard ebooks makes no representations regarding the copyright status of the source text or artwork in this ebook in any country other than the United States. Non-authorship activities performed on items that are in the public domain, so-called sweat of the brow, work. Don't create a new copyright. That means that nobody can claim a new copyright on an item that is in the public domain for, among other things, work like digitization, markup, or typography. Regardless, the contributors to this ebook released their contributions under the terms in the CC 01.0 Universal Public Domain dedication, thus dedicating to the worldwide public domain all of the work they've done on this ebook, including but not limited to metadata, the title page, imprint, colophon, this uncopyright, and any changes or enhancements to, or markup on, the original text and artwork. This dedication doesn't change the copyright status of the source text or artwork. We make this dedication in the interest of enriching our global cultural heritage, to promote free and libre culture around the world, and to give back to the unrestricted culture that has given all of us so much. Table of Contents Landmarks, Act Roman 2 Scene Gloucester's Castle. The Duke be here tonight? The better? Best. This weaves itself perforce into my business. My father hath set guard to take my brother, and I have one thing of a queasy question which I must act. Briefness and fortune work. Brother, a word, descend. Brother, I say, my father watches. O sir, fly this place. Intelligence is given where you are hid. You have now the good advantage of the night. Have you not spoken gainst the Duke of Cornwall? He's coming hither. Now, I the knight, I the haste and regan with him. Have you nothing said upon his party gainst the Duke of Albany? Advise yourself. I hear my father coming, pardon me, in cunning I must draw my sword upon you draw, seem to defend yourself, now quit you well. Yield, come before my father. Light, ho here, fly brother, torches, so farewell. Exit Edgar, some blood drawn on me would beget opinion. Wounds his arm, of my more fierce endeavour. I have seen drunkards do more than this in spot. Father, stop, no help? Here stood he in the dark, his sharp sword out, mumbling of wicked charms, conjuring the moon to stand auspicious mistress. Persuade me to the murder of your lordship. But that I told him, the revenging gods gainst parricides did all their thunders bend, spoke with how manifold and strong a bond the child was bound to the father. Sir, in fine, seeing how loathly opposite I stood to his unnatural purpose, in fell motion, with his prepared sword, he charges home my unprovided body, lanced mine arm. But when he saw my best alarmed spirits, bold in the quarrel's right, roused to the encounter, or whether gasted by the noise I made, full suddenly he fled. Let him fly far, not in this land shall he remain uncaught, and found, dispatch. The noble Duke my master, my worthy arch and patron, comes tonight, by his authority I will proclaim it, that he which finds him shall deserve our thanks, bringing the murderous coward to the stake, he that conceals him, death. When I dissuaded him from his intent, and found him pight to do it, with cursed speech I threatened to discover him. He replied, Thou unpossessing bastard, dost thou think, if I would stand against thee, would the reposal of any trust, virtue, or worth in thee make thy words faithed? No, what I should deny, as this I would. I, though thou didst produce my very character, I'll turn it all to thy suggestion, plot, and damned practice, and thou must make a dull out of the world if they not thought the profits of my death were very pregnant and potential spurs to make thee seek it. Strong and fastened villain, would he deny his letter? I never got him. Tuck it within. Hark, the Duke's trumpets, I know not why he comes. All pots I'll bar, the villain shall not scape, the Duke must grant me that. Besides, his picture I will send far and near, that all the kingdom may have the due note of him. And of my land, loyal and natural boy, I'll work the means to make thee capable. How now, my noble friend? Since I came hither, which I can call but now, I have heard strange news. If it be true, all vengeance comes too short which can pursue the offender. How dost, my lord? Oh, madam, my old heart is cracked, it's cracked. What, did my father's godson seek your life? He whom my father named? Your Edgar? Oh, lady, shame would have it hid. Was he not companion with the riotous knights that tend upon my father? I know not, madam, 'tis too bad. Yes, madam, he was of that consort. No marvel then, though he were ill affected, 'tis they have put him on the old man's death to have the expense and waste of his revenues. I have this present evening from my sister been well informed of them, and with such cautions that if they come to sojourn at my house, I'll not be there. Nor I, assure thee, Regan. Edmund, I hear that you have shown your father a childlike office. 'Twas my duty, sir. He did bewray his practice, and received this hurt you see, striving to apprehend him. Is he pursued? Ay, my good lord. If he be taken, he shall never more be feared of doing harm. Make your own purpose, how in my strength you please. For you, Edmund, whose virtue and obedience doth this instant so much commend itself, you shall be ours. Natures of such deep trust we shall much need. You we first seize on. I shall serve you, sir, truly, however else. For him I thank your grace. You know not why we came to visit you, thus out of season, threading dark-eyed night, occasions, noble Gloucester, of some poise, wherein we must have use of your advice. Our father he hath writ, so hath our sister, of differences, which I least thought it fit to answer from our home. The several messengers from hence attend dispatch. Our good old friend, lay comforts to your bosom, and bestow your needful counsel to our business, which craves the instant use. I serve you, madam. Your graces are right welcome. Exeunt. Scene Roman 2 before Gloucester's castle. Peace, sirrah. You beastly knave, know you no reverence, that such a slave as this should wear a sod, who wears no honesty? Such smiling rogues as these, like rats, oft bite the holy cod's 8 wane which are too intrinse tea and loose, smooth every passion that in the natures of their lords rebel, bring oil to fire, snow to their colder moods, renege, affirm, and turn their halcyon beaks with every gale and vary of their masters, knowing not, like dogs, but following. A plague upon your epileptic visage. Smile you my speeches as I were a fool? Goose, if I had you upon Sarum plain, I'll drive ye cackling home to Camelot. No contraries hold more antipathy than I and such a knave. Sir, 'tis my occupation to be plain. I have seen better faces in my time than stands on any shoulder that I see before me at this instant. This is some fellow, who, having been praised for bluntness, doth affect a saucy roughness, and constrains the garb quite from his nature. He cannot flatter, he, an honest mind and plain, he must speak truth, and they will take it so, if not, he's plain. These kind of knaves I know, which in this plainness harbour more craft and more corrupter ends than 20 silly ducking observants that stretch their duties nicely. Sir, in good sooth, in sincere verity, under the allowance of your great aspect, whose influence, like the wreath of radiant fire on flickering Phoebus' front, I never gave him any. It pleased the king his master very late to strike at me, upon his misconstruction, when he, conjunct and flattering his displeasure, tripped me behind, being down, insulted, railed, and put upon him such a deal of man that worthied him, got praises of the king for him attempting who was self-subdued, and in the fleshment of this dread exploit, drew on me here again. None of these rogues and cowards but Ajax is their fool. Fetch forth the stocks. You stubborn ancient knave, you reverend braggart, will teach you, sir. I am too old to learn. Call not your stocks for me. I serve the king, on whose employment I was sent to you. You shall do small respect, show too bold malice against the grace and person of my master, stalking his messenger. Fetch forth the stocks. As I have life and honour, there shall he sit till noon. Why, madam, if I were your father's dog, you should not use me so. This is a fellow of the self-same colour our sister speaks of. Come, bring away the stocks brought out. Let me beseech your grace not to do so. His fault is much, and the good king his master will check him for tea. Your purposed low correction is such as basest and contemnedst wretches for pilferings, and most common trespasses are punished with. The king must take it ill, that he's so slightly valued in his messenger, should have him thus restrained. My sister may receive it much more worse, to have her gentleman abused, assaulted, for following her affairs. Put in his legs. Kent is put in the stocks. Come, my good lord, away. I am sorry for thee, friend. 'Tis the duke's pleasure, whose disposition, all the world well knows, will not be rubbed nor stopped. I'll entreat for thee. Pray do not, sir. I have watched and travelled hard. Sometime I shall sleep out, the rest I'll whistle. A good man's fortune may grow out at heels. Give you good morrow? Good king, that must approve the common saw, thou out of heaven's benediction comest to the warm sun. Approach, thou beacon to this under globe, that by thy comfortable beams I may peruse this letter. Nothing almost sees miracles but misery. I know 'tis from Cordelia, who hath most fortunately been informed of my obscured costs, and shall find time from this enormous state, seeking to give losses their remedies. All weary and watched, take vantage, heavy eyes, not to behold this shameful lodging. Fortune, good night. Smile once more, turn thy wheel. Sleeps, seen Roman 3 a wood. I heard myself proclaimed, and by the happy hollow of a tree escaped the hunt. No pot is free, no place that God, and most unusual vigilance, does not attend my taking. Whiles I may scape, I will preserve myself, and am bethought to take the basest and most poorest shape that ever penury, in contempt of man, brought near to beast. My face I'll grime with filth, blanket my loins, elf all my hair in knots, and with presented nakedness outface the winds and persecutions of the sky. The country gives me proof and precedent of bedlam beggars, who with roaring voices strike in their numbed and modified bare arms pins, wooden pricks, nails, sprigs of rosemary, and with this horrible object from low farms, poor pelting villages, sheepcotes and mills, sometime with lunatic bans, sometime with prayers, in fast their charity. Poor Turligud, poor Tom, that's something yet, Edgar I nothing am. Exit. Seen Roman far before Gloucester's castle. 'Tis strange that they should so depart from home, and not send back my messenger. As I learned, the night before there was no purpose in them of this remove. Ha, makest thou this shame thy pastime? What's he that hath so much thy place mistook to set thee here? It is both he and she, your son and daughter. They durst not do tea, they could not, would not do tea. 'Tis worse than murder, to do upon respect such violent outrage. Resolve me, with all modest haste, which way thou mightst deserve, or they impose, this usage, coming from us. My lord, when at their home I did commend your highness letters to them, ere I was risen from the place that showed my duty kneeling, came there a reeking post, stewed in his haste, half breathless, panting forth from Goneril his mistress' salutations. Delivered letters, spite of intermission, which presently they read, on whose contents they summoned up their many, straight took horse, commanded me to follow, and attend the leisure of their answer, gave me cold looks, and meeting here the other messenger, whose welcome I perceived had poisoned mine, being the very fellow that of late displayed so saucily against your highness, having more man than wit about me, drew? He raised the house with loud and coward cries. Your son and daughter found this trespass worth the shame which here it suffers. Winter's not gone yet, if the wild geese fly that way. Fathers that wear rags do make their children blind, but fathers that bear bags shall see their children kind. Fortune, that errant haw, ne'er turns the key to the poor. But for all this, thou shalt have as many dollars for thy daughters as thou canst tell in a year. Oh, how this mother swells up toward my heart. Hystrica passio, down, thou climbing sorrow, thy elements below. Where is this daughter? Follow me not, stay here. Exit, none. How chance the king comes with so small a train? That sir which serves and seeks for gain, and follows but for fawn, will pack when it begins to rain, and leave thee in the storm, but I will tarry, the fool will stay, and let the wise man fly. The knave turns fool that runs away, the fool no knave, purdy. Deny to speak with me? They are sick, they are weary, they have travelled all the night, mere fetches, the images of revolt and flying off. Fetch me a better answer. My dear lord, you know the fiery quality of the duke, how unremovable and fixed he is in his own cause. Vengeance, plague, death, confusion, fiery. What quality? Why, Gloucester, I'ld speak with the Duke of Cornwall and his wife. The king would speak with Cornwall. The dear father would with his daughter speak, commands her service. Are they informed of this, my breath and blood, fiery? The fiery duke? Tell the hot duke that, no, but not yet. Maybe he is not well. Infirmity doth still neglect all office whereto our health is bound. We are not ourselves when nature, being oppressed, commands the mind to suffer with the body. I'll forbear, and am fallen out with my more headier will, to take the indisposed and sickly fit for the sound man. Death on my state? Wherefore looking on Kent, should he sit here? This act persuades me that this remotion of the Duke and her is practice only. Give me my servant forth. Go tell the Duke and wife I'ld speak with them now, presently. Bid them come forth and hear me, or at their chamber door I'll beat the drum till it cries sleep to death. Regan, I think you are, I know what reason I have to think so. If thou shouldst not be glad, I would divorce me from thy mother's tomb, sepulchring an adulteress. To Kent. Oh, are you free? Some other time for that. Beloved Regan, thy sister's not. O Regan, she hath tied sharp-toothed unkindness like a vulture here, points to his heart. I can scarce speak to thee. Thou'lt not believe with how depraved a quality, O Regan. I pray you, sir, take patience, I have hope. You less know how to value her desert than she to scant her duty. I cannot think my sister in the least would fail her obligation. If, sir, perchance she have restrained the riots of your followers, 'tis on such ground, and to such wholesome end, as clears her from all blame. Oh, sir, you are old. Nature in you stands on the very verge of her confine. You should be ruled and led by some discretion that discerns your state better than you yourself. Therefore, I pray you, that to our sister you do make return. Say you have wronged her, sir. Ask her forgiveness. Do you but mock how this becomes the house? Dear daughter, I confess that I am old, kneeling. Age is unnecessary. On my knees I beg that you'll vouchsafe me raiment, bed, and food. Good sir, no more. These are unsightly tricks. Return you to my sister. Rising. Never, Regan, she hath abated me of half my train, looked black upon me, struck me with her tongue, most serpent-like, upon the very heart. All the stawed vengeances of heaven fall on her ingrateful top. Strike her young bones, you taking airs with lameness? You nimble lightnings, dot your blinding flames into her scornful eyes. Infect her beauty, you fen-sucked fogs drawn by the powerful sun, to fall and blast her pride. O the blessed gods, so will you wish on me when the rash mood is on. No, Regan, thou shalt never have my curse. Thy tender-hefted nature shall not give thee aught a harshness, her eyes are fierce, but thine do comfort and not burn. 'Tis not in thee to grudge my pleasures, to cut off my train, to bandy hasty words, to scant my sizes, and in conclusion to oppose the bolt against my coming in. Thou better know'st the offices of nature, bond of childhood, effects of courtesy, dues of gratitude. Thy half o' the kingdom haste thou not forgot, wherein I thee endowed. I note, my sisters. This approves her letter that she would soon be here. This is a slave, whose easy borrowed pride dwells in the fickle grace of her he follows. Out, varlet, from my sight. Who stalked my servant? Regan, I have good hope thou didst not know on't. Who comes here? O heavens, if you do love old men, if your sweet sway allow obedience, if yourselves are old, make it your cause send down and take my pot, to Goneril. Ought not ashamed to look upon this beard? O Regan, wilt thou take her by the hand? Why not by the hand, sir? How have I offended? All's not offence that indiscretion finds in dotage terms so. O sides, you are too tough, will you yet hold? How came my man I the stocks? I set him there, sir, but his own disorders deserved much less advancement. I pray you, father, being weak, seem so. If till the expiration of your month you will return and sojourn with my sister, dismissing half your train, come then to me. I am now from home, and out of that provision which shall be needful for your entertainment. Return to her, and 50 men dismissed? No, rather I abjure all roofs, and choose to wage against the enmity o' the air, to be a comrade with the wolf and owl. Necessity's sharp pinch. Return with her? Why, the hot-blooded France that dowerless took our youngest bawn, I could as well be brought to knee his throne, and, squire-like, pension beg to keep base life afoot. Return with her? Persuade me rather to be slave and sumpter to this detested groom. Pointing at Oswald, I prithee, daughter, do not make me mad. I will not trouble thee, my child, farewell. We'll no more meet, no more see one another. But yet thou art my flesh, my blood, my daughter, or rather a disease that's in my flesh, which I must needs call mine. Thou art a boil, a plague saw, an embossed carbuncle in my corrupted blood. But I'll not chide thee. Let shame come when it will, I do not call it. I do not bid the thunder-bearer shoot, nor tell tales of thee to high-judging Jove. Mend when thou canst, be better at thy leisure. I can be patient, I can stay with Regan, I and my 100 knights. Not altogether so. I looked not for you yet, nor am provided for your fit welcome. Give ye, sir, to my sister, for those that mingle reason with your passion must be content to think you old, and so, but she knows what she does. I dare avouch it, sir. What, 50 followers? Is it not well? What should you need of more? Yea, are so many, sith that both charge and danger speak gainst so great a number. How in one house should many people, under 2 commands, hold amity? 'Tis hard, almost impossible. Why might not you, my lord, receive attendance from those that she calls servants, or from mine? Why not, my lord? If then they chance to slack you, we could control them. If you will come to me, for now I spy a danger. I entreat you to bring but 25. To no more will I give place or notice. Made you my guardians, my depositaries, but kept a reservation to be followed with such a number. What, must I come to you with 25? Regan? Said you so? Those wicked creatures yet do look well favored, when others are more wicked. Not being the worst stands in some rank of praise. To Goneril, I'll go with thee, thy 50 yet doth double 25, and thou art twice her love. Hear me, my lord, what need you 25, 10, or 5, to follow in a house where twice so many have a command to tend you? Oh, reason not the need. Our basest beggars are in the poorest things superfluous. Allow not nature more than nature needs. Man's life's as cheap as beasts. Thou art a lady. If only to go warm were gorgeous, why, nature needs not what thou gorgeous wear'st, which scarcely keeps thee warm. But for true need, you heavens, give me that patience I need. You see me here, you gods, a poor old man, as full of grief as age, wretched in both. If it be you that stir these daughters' hearts against their father, fool me not so much to bear it tamely. Touch me with noble anger, and let not women's weapons, water drops, stain my man's cheeks. No, you unnatural hags, I will have such revenges on you both, that all the world shall. I will do such things, what they are, yet I know not. But they shall be the terrors of the earth. You think I'll weep? No, I'll not weep. I have full cause of weeping. But this heart shall break into 100,000 flaws, or ere I'll weep. O fool, I shall go mad. This house is little. The old man and his people cannot be well bestowed. 'Tis his own blame, hath put himself from rest, and must needs taste his folly. For his particular, I'll receive him gladly, but not one follower. So am I purposed. Where is my lord of Gloucester? Alack, the night comes on, and the bleak winds do sorely ruffle. For many miles about there's scarce a bush. Oh, sir, to wilful men, the injuries that they themselves procure must be their schoolmasters. Shut up your daws, he is attended with a desperate train, and what they may incense him to, being apt to have his ear abused, wisdom bids fear. Shut up your daws, my lord, 'tis a wild night, my regan counsels well, come out o' the storm. Exeunt. Act Roman 3 Scene a heath. Contending with the fretful element, bids the winds blow the earth into the sea, or swell the curled wat above the main, that things might change or cease. Tears his white hair, which the impetuous blasts with eyeless rage catch in their fury, and make nothing of, strives in his little world of man to outscon the to and fro conflicting wind and rain. This night, wherein the cub-drawn bear would couch, the lion and the bella-pinched wolf keep their fur dry. Unbonneted he runs, and bids what will take all. None but the fool, who labors to outjust his hot-struck injuries. Sir, I do know you, and dare, upon the warrant of my note, commend a dear thing to you. There is division, although as yet the face of it be covered with mutual cunning, twixt Albany and Cornwall, who have as who have not that their great stars throned and set high, servants who seem no less, which are to France the spies and speculations intelligent of our state. What hath been seen, either in snuffs and packings of the dukes, or the hard reign which both of them have borne against the old kind king, or something deeper, whereof perchance these are but furnishings, but true it is, from France there comes a power into this scattered kingdom, who already, wise in our negligence, have secret feet in some of our best pots, and are at point to show their open banner. Now to you, if on my credit you dare build so far to make your speed to Dover, you shall find some that will thank you, making just report of how unnatural and bematting sorrow the king hath caused to plain. I am a gentleman of blood and breeding, and from some knowledge and assurance, offer this office to you. No, do not. For confirmation that I am much more than my outwall, open this purse, and take what it contains. If you shall see Cordelia, as fear not but you shall show her this ring, and she will tell you who your fellow is that yet you do not know. Fie on this storm, I will go seek the king. Few words, but to effect more than all yet, that when we have found the king, in which your pain that way all this, he that first lights on him hollow the other. Exeunt severally. Scene room into another part of the heath. Storm still, blow, winds, and crack your cheeks, rage, blow. You cataracts and hurricanos, spout till you have drenched our steeples, drown the cocks. You sulphurous and thought-executing fires, vaunt couriers to oak-cleaving thunderbolts, singe my white head. And thou, all-shaking thunder, smite flat the thick rotundity o' the world, crack nature's molds and Germans spill at once that make ingrateful man. Rumble thy belliful, spit, fire, spout, rain, gnaw rain, wind, thunder, fire, are my daughters. I tax not you, you elements. With unkindness, I never gave you kingdom, called you children, you owe me no subscription. Then let fall your horrible pleasure. Here I stand, your slave, a poor, infirm, weak, and despised old man. But yet I call you servile ministers, that have with two pernicious daughters joined your high-engendered battles gainst a head so old and white as this. Oh, 'tis foul. The codpiece that will house before the head has any, the head and he shall louse. So beggars marry many. The man that makes his toe what he is hot should make shell of a con cry woe, and turn his sleep to wake. For there was never yet fair woman, but she made mouths in a glass. No, I will be the pattern of all patience, I will say nothing. Alas, sir, are you here? Things that love night love not such nights as these. The wrathful skies gallow the very wanderers of the dock, and make them keep their caves. Since I was man, such sheets of fire, such bursts of horrid thunder, such groans of roaring wind and rain, I never remember to have heard. Man's nature cannot carry the affliction nor the fear. Let the great gods that keep this dreadful pother o'er our heads find out their enemies now. Tremble, thou wretch, that haste within thee undivulged crimes, unwhipped of justice. Hide thee, thou bloody hand, thou perjured, and thou simula man of virtue that ought incestuous. Caitiff, to pieces shake, that under covert and convenient seeming haste practised on man's life, close pent-up guilts, rive your concealing continence, and cry these dreadful summoners grace. I am a man more sinned against than sinning. Alack, bareheaded, gracious my lord, hard by here is a hovel. Some friendship will it lend you gainst the tempest, repose you there, while I to this hard house, more harder than the stones whereof 'tis raised, which even but now, demanding after you, denied me to come in, return, and foss their scanted courtesy. My wits begin to turn. Come on, my boy, how dost, my boy? Art cold? I am cold myself. Where is this straw, my fellow? The art of our necessities is strange that can make vile things precious. Come your hovel. Poor fool and knave, I have one pot in my heart that's sorry yet for thee. Singing, he that has a little tiny wit, with hey, ho, the wind and the rain, must make content with his fortunes fit, for the rain it raineth every day. This is a brave night to cool a courtesan. I'll speak a prophecy ere I go, when priests are more in word than matter, when brewers mar their malt with water, when nobles are their tailors' tutors, no heretics burned but wenches' suitors, when every case in law is right, no squire in debt, nor no poor knight, when slanders do not live in tongues, nor cutpurses come not to throngs, when usurers tell their gold i' the field, and bawds and haws do churches build, then shall the realm of Albion come to great confusion, then comes the time, who lives to seat that going shall be used with feet. This prophecy Merlin shall make, for I live before his time. Exit. Scene Roman 3 Gloucester's Castle. This courtesy, forbid thee, shall the Duke instantly know, and of that letter too, this seems a fair deserving, and must draw me that which my father loses, no less than all, the younger rises when the old doth fall. Exit. Scene Roman Father Heath. Before a hovel. Here is the place, my lord, good my lord, enter. The tyranny of the open night's too rough for nature to endure. Thou think'st 'tis much that this contentious storm invades us to the skin, so 'tis to thee, but where the greater malady is fixed, the lesser is scarce felt. Thou'dst shun a bear, but if thy flight lay toward the raging sea, thou'dst meet the bear i' the mouth. When the mind's free, the body's delicate, the tempest in my mind doth from my senses take all feeling else save what beats there. Filial ingratitude? Is it not as this mouth should tear this hand for lifting food taught? But I will punish home, no, I will weep no more. In such a night to shut me out, pour on, I will endure. In such a night as this? O Regan, Goneril, your old kind father, whose frank heart gave all that way madness lies, let me shun that, no more of that. Prithee, go in thyself, seek thine own ease, this tempest will not give me leave to ponder on things would hurt me more, but I'll go in. To the fool? In, boy, go first, you houseless poverty, nay, get thee in. I'll pray and then I'll sleep. Fool goes in. Poor naked wretches, where saw you that bide the pelting of this pitiless storm? How shall your houseless heads and unfed sides, your looped and windowed raggedness, defend you from seasons such as these? Oh, I have ta'en too little care of this. Take physic, pomp, expose thyself to feel what wretches feel, that thou mayst shake the superflux to them, and show the heavens more just. Away, the foul fiend follows me, through the sharp hawthorn blows the cold wind. Go to thy cold bed and warm thee. Haste thou given all to thy 2 daughters, and art thou come to this? What have his daughters brought him to this pass? Couldst thou save nothing? Didst thou give them all? Now, all the plagues that in the pendulous air hang fated all men's faults light on thy daughters? Death, traitor? Nothing could have subdued nature to such a lowness but his unkind daughters. Is it the fashion that discarded fathers should have thus little mercy on their flesh? Judicious punishment. 'Twas this flesh begot those pelican daughters. With old-footed thrice the old, he met the nightmare and her ninefold, bid her alight and her troth plight, and aroint thee, which aroint thee, but mice and rats and such small deer, have been Tom's food for 7 long year. Our flesh and blood is grown so vile, my lord, that it doth hate what gets it. Go in with me. My duty cannot suffer to obey in all your daughters' hard commands, though their injunction be to bar my doors, and let this tyrannous night take hold upon you, yet have I ventured to come seek you out, and bring you where both fire and food is ready. First let me talk with this philosopher. What is the cause of thunder? I'll talk a word with this same learned Theban. What is your study? Impart unim once more to go, my lord, his wits begin to unsettle. Canst thou blame him? Storm still. His daughters seek his death, that good Kent. He said it would be thus, poor banished man. Thou say'st the king grows mad. I'll tell thee, friend, I am almost mad myself. I had a son, now outlawed from my blood. He sought my life but lately, very late. I loved him, friend, no father his son dearer. Truth to tell thee, the grief hath crazed my wits. What a night's this? I do beseech your grace, this way, my lord. Child Roland to the dock tower came, his word was still, fie, foe, and fum, I smell the blood of a British man. Scene v Gloucester's Castle. Scene vi a chamber in a farmhouse adjoining the castle. Frederetto calls me, and tells me Nero is an angler in the lake of darkness. Pray, innocent, and beware the foul fiend. To have 1,000 with red burning spits come hissing in upon him. It shall be done, I will arraign them straight. To Edgar. Come, sit thou here, most learned justicer, to the fool. Thou, sapient sir, sit here. Now, you she foxes, look where he stands and glares. Wantest thou eyes at trial, madam? Come the bond, Bessie, to me. Her boat hath a leak, and she must not speak why she dares not come over to thee. How do you, sir? Stand you not so amazed? Will you lie down and rest upon the cushions? I'll see their trial first. Bring in the evidence to Edgar. Thou robed man of justice, take thy place to the fool, and thou, his yoke fellow of equity, bench by his side to Kent. You are the commission, sit you too, let us deal justly. Sleepest or wakest thou, jolly shepherd? Thy sheep be in the con, and for one blast of thy minikin mouth thy sheep shall take no harm. Purr, the cat is grey. Arraign her first, 'tis goneril. I here take my oath before this honourable assembly, she kicked the poor king her father. And here's another, whose wapped looks proclaim what star her heart is made on. Stop her there. Arms, sod, fire, corruption in the place, false justicer, why haste thou let her scape? O pity, sir, where is the patience now, that thou so oft have boasted to retain? Aside, my tears begin to take his part so much, they'll mar my counterfeiting. The little dogs and all, Tray, Blanche, and Sweetheart, see they balk at me. Tom will throw his head at them. Avaunt, you curs! Be thy mouth or black or white, tooth that poisons if it bite. Mastiff, greyhound, mongrel grim, hound or spaniel, brack or limb, or bobtail, tyke or trundletail, Tom will make them weep and wail for, with throwing thus my head, dogs leap the hatch and all are fled. Come hither, friend, where is the king my master? Here, sir, but trouble him not, his wits are gone. Good friend, I prithee, take him in thy arms, I have heard a plot of death upon him. There is a litter ready, lay him in tea and drive towards Dover, friend, where thou shalt meet both welcome and protection. Take up thy master. If thou shouldst dally half an hour, his life with thine, and all that offer to defend him, stand in assured loss. Take up, and follow me, that will to some provision give thee quick conduct. Oppressed nature sleeps, this rest might yet have balmed thy broken senses, which, if convenience will not allow, stand in hard cure. To the fool, come help to bear thy master, thou must not stay behind. Come away, exeunt all but Edgar. When we our betters see bearing our woes, we scarcely think our miseries our foes. Who alone suffers most the mind, leaving free things and happy shows behind. But then the mind much sufferance doth skip, when grief hath mates and bearing fellowship. How light and potable my pain seems now, when that which makes me bend makes the king bow, he childed as I fathered. Tom, away, mock the high noises, and thyself bewray, when false opinion, whose wrong thought defiles thee in thy just proof, repeals and reconciles thee. What will hap ma tonight, safe scape the king? Lurk, exit, scene room in 7 Gloucester's castle. My lord of Gloucester hath conveyed him hence, some 5 or 36 of his knights, hot questrists after him, met him at gate, who, with some other of the lord's dependents, are gone with him towards Dover, where they boast to have well-armed friends. Edmund, farewell. Exeunt Goneril, Edmund, and Oswald. Go seek the traitor Gloucester, pinion him like a thief, bring him before us. Exeunt other servants. Though well we may not pass upon his life without the form of justice, yet our power shall do a courtesy to our wrath, which men may blame, but not control. Who's there? The traitor? What mean your graces? Good my friends, consider you are my guests. Do me no foul play, friends. To this chair bind him. Villain, thou shalt find, Regan plucks his beard. By the kind gods, 'tis most ignobly done to pluck me by the beard. So white and such a traitor? Naughty lady, these hairs, which thou dost ravish from my chin, will quicken, and accuse thee. I am your host. With robber's hands my hospitable favours you should not ruffle thus. What will you do? Come, sir, what letters had you late from France? Be simple answerer, for we know the truth. And what confederacy have you with the traitors late-footed in the kingdom? To whose hands have you sent the lunatic king? Speak. I have a letter guessingly set down, which came from one that's of a neutral heart, and not from one opposed, because I would not see thy cruel nails pluck out his poor old eyes, nor thy fierce sister in his anointed flesh stick boorish fangs. The sea, with such a storm as his bare head in hell-black night endured, would have buoyed up and quenched the stelled fires, yet, poor old heart, he holp the heavens to rain. If wolves had at thy gate howled that stern time, thou shouldst have said, Good Potter, turn the key. All cruels else subscribed, but I shall see the winged vengeance overtake such children. Seat shalt thou never. Fellows, hold the chair. Upon these eyes of thine I'll set my foot. He that will think to live till he be old, give me some help? O cruel? O you gods, one side will mock another, the other too. If you see vengeance, hold your hand, my lord. I have served you ever since I was a child, but better service have I never done you than now to bid you hold. How now, you dog, if you did wear a beard upon your chin, I'd shake it on this quarrel. What do you mean? Oh, I am slain, my lord, you have one eye left to see some mischief on him. Oh, dies, lest it see ma prevent it, out, vile jelly, where is thy lustre now, all dark and comfortless? Where's my son Edmund? Edmund, enkindle all the sparks of nature to quit this horrid act. Out, treacherous villain, thou call'st on him that hates thee. It was he that made the overture of thy treasons to us, who is too good to pity thee. O my follies! Then Edgar was abused, kind gods, forgive me that, and prosper him. Go thrust him out at gates, and let him smell his way to Dover. Exit one with Gloucester. How is't, my lord? How look you? I have received a hurt, follow me, lady. Turn out that eyeless villain, throw this slave upon the dunghill. Regan, I bleed apace, untimely comes this hurt, give me your arm. Exit Cornwall, led by Regan. I'll never care what wickedness I do if this man come to good. If she live long, and in the end meet the old cause of death, women will all turn monsters. Let's follow the old earl, and get the bedlam to lead him where he would. His roguish madness allows itself to anything. Go thou, I'll fetch some flax and whites of eggs to apply to his bleeding face. Now, heaven help him. Exeunt severally, act Roman fa sine the heath. Yet better thus, and known to be contemned, than still contemned and flattered. To be worst, the lowest and most dejected thing of fortune, stands still in asperance, lives not in fear, the lamentable change is from the best, the worst returns to laughter. Welcome then, thou unsubstantial air that I embrace, the wretch that thou hast blown unto the worst owes nothing to thy blasts. But who comes here? Enter Gloucester, led by an old man. My father, poorly led, world, O world, but that thy strange mutations make us hate thee, lie would not yield to age. Away, get thee away, good friend, be gone. Thy comforts can do me no good at all, thee they may hurt. I have no way, and therefore want no eyes. I stumbled when I saw, full oft 'tis seen, our means secure us, and our mere defects prove our commodities. O dear son Edgar, the food of thy abused father's wrath, might I but live to see thee in my touch, I'ld say I had eyes again. Aside, O gods, who is can say, I am at the worst? I am worse than e'er I was. Aside, and worse I may be yet. The worst is not so long as we can say, this is the worst. He has some reason, else he could not beg. I the last night storm I such a fellow saw, which made me think a man a worm. My son came then into my mind, and yet my mind was then scarce friends with him. I have heard more since. As flies to wanton boys, are we to the gods. They kill us for their spot. Aside, how should this be? Bad is the trade that must play fool to sorrow, angering itself and others. Bless thee, master, then, prithee, get thee gone. If, for my sake, thou wilt take us, hence a mile or twain either way toward Dover, do it for ancient love, and bring some covering for this naked soul, who I'll entreat to lead me. 'Tis the time's plague, when madmen lead the blind. Do as I bid thee, or rather do thy pleasure. Above the rest, be gone. I'll bring him the best pail that I have, come on't what will. Exit. Here, take this purse, thou whom the heavens' plagues have humbled to all strokes. That I am wretched makes thee the happier. Heavens, deal so still? Let the superfluous and lust-dieted man, that slaves your ordinance, that will not see because he doth not feel your power quickly, so distribution should undo excess, and each man have enough. Dost thou know Dover? There is a cliff, whose high and bending head looks fearfully in the confined deep. Bring me but to the very brim of it, and I'll repair the misery thou dost bear with something rich about me. From that place I shall know leading need. Give me thy arm, poor Tom shall lead thee. Exeunt. Scene Roman II before Albany's palace. Welcome, my lord, I marvel our mild husband not met us on the way. Madam, within, but never man so changed. I told him of the army that was landed, he smiled at it. I told him you were coming. His answer was the worse. Of Gloucester's treachery, and of the loyal service of his son when I informed him. Then he called me sot, and told me I had turned the wrong side out. What most he should dislike seems pleasant to him, what like offensive. To Edmund, then shall you go no further. It is the cowish terror of his spirit that dares not undertake. He'll not feel wrongs which tie him to an answer. Our wishes on the way may prove effects. Back, Edmund, to my brother. Hasten his musters and conduct his powers. I must change arms at home, and give the distaff into my husband's hands. This trusty servant shall pass between us. Ere long you are like to hear, if you dare venture in your own behalf, a mistress's command. Wear this. Spare speech, giving a favor. Decline your head. This kiss, if it durst speak, would stretch thy spirits up into the air. Conceive and fare thee well. Yaws in the ranks of death. My most dear Gloucester, exit Edmund. Oh, the difference of man and man, to thee a woman's services are due, my fool usurps my body. Madam, here comes my lord, exit, I have been worth the whistle. O Goneril, you are not worth the dust which the rude wind blows in your face. I fear your disposition, that nature, which contemns its origin, cannot be boughted certain in itself. She that herself will sliver and disbranch from her material sap, perforce must wither and come to deadly use. No more, the text is foolish. Wisdom and goodness to the vile seem vile, filth savour but themselves. What have you done? tigers, not daughters, what have you performed? A father, and a gracious aged man, whose reverence even the head-lugged bear would lick, most barbarous, most degenerate. Have you madded? Could my good brother suffer you to do it? A man, a prince, by him so benefited? If that the heavens do not their visible spirits send quickly down to tame these vile offences, it will come. Humanity must perforce prey on itself, like monsters of the deep. Milk-livered man, that bear'st a cheek for blows, a head for wrongs, who haste not in thy brows an eye discerning thine honour from thy suffering, that not know'st fools do those villains pity who are punished ere they have done their mischief. Where's thy drum? France spreads his banners in our noiseless land, with plumed helm thy slayer begins threats, whiles thou, a moral fool, sit'st still and creased alack. Why does he so? See thyself, devil. Proper deformity seems not in the fiend so horrid as in woman. O vain fool! Thou changed and self-covered thing, for shame, be monster not thy feature. Whet my fitness to let these hands obey my blood. They are apt enough to dislocate and tear thy flesh and bones. Howe'er thou art a fiend, a woman's shape doth shield thee. Marry, your manhood now. O my good lord, the Duke of Cornwall's dead, slain by his servant, going to put out the other eye of Gloucester. A servant that he bred, thrilled with remorse, opposed against the act, bending his sword to his great master, who thereat enraged, flew on him, and amongst them felled him dead, but not without that harmful stroke, which since hath plucked him after. This shows you are above, you justices, that these are nether crimes so speedily convenge, but O poor Gloucester, lost he his other eye? Both, my lord. This letter, madam, craves a speedy answer. 'Tis from your sister. Aside, one way I like this well, but being widow and my Gloucester with her, may all the building in my fancy pluck upon my hateful life. Another way, the news is not so taught. I'll read and answer. Exit, I. My good lord, 'twas he informed against him, and quit the house on purpose, that their punishment might have the freer course. Gloucester, I live to thank thee for the love thou showedst the king, and to revenge thine eyes. Come hither, friend, tell me what more thou know'st. Exeunt. Scene Roman 3. The French camp near Dover. Ay, sir, she took them, read them in my presence, and now and then an ample tear trilled down her delicate cheek. It seemed she was a queen over her passion, who, most rebel-like, sought to be king o'er her. Oh, then it moved her. Not to a rage, patience and sorrow strove who should express her goodliest. You have seen sunshine and rain at once. Her smiles and tears were like a bet away. Those happy smilets that played on her ripe lip seemed not to know what guests were in her eyes, which potted thence, as pearls from diamonds dropped. In brief, sorrow would be a rarity most beloved if all could so become it. Made she no verbal question? Faith, once or twice she heaved the name of father, pantingly forth, as if it pressed her heart. Cried, sisters, shame of ladies, sisters, Kent, father, sisters, what, I the storm, I the night, let pity not be believed. There she shook the holy water from her heavenly eyes and clamour moistened, then away she started to deal with grief alone. It is the stars above us, govern our conditions, else one's self-mate and mate could not beget such different issues. You spoke not with her since. Well, sir, the poor distressed Lear's I the town, who sometime, in his bet attune, remembers what we are come about, and by no means will yield to see his daughter. Why, good sir, a sovereign shame so elbows him. His own unkindness that stripped her from his benediction, turned her to foreign casualties, gave her dear rights to his dog-hearted daughters. These things sting his mind so venomously that burning shame detains him from Cordelia. Well, sir, I'll bring you to our master Lear, and leave you to attend him. Some dear cause will in concealment wrap me up a while. When I am known aright, you shall not grieve lending me this acquaintance. I pray you, go along with me. Exeunt. Scene Roman 4. The same. Attent. Alack, 'tis he. Why, he was met even now as mad as the vexed sea, singing aloud, crowned with rank fumita and furrow weeds, with burdocks, hemlock, nettles, cuckoo flowers, donnel, and all the idle weeds that grow in our sustaining con. A century send forth, search every acre in the high-grown field and bring him to our eye. Exit an officer. What can man's wisdom in the restoring his bereaved sense? He that helps him take all my outward worth. There is means, madam, our foster nurse of nature is repose, the which he lacks, that to provoke in him, a many simples operative, whose power will close the eye of anguish. All blessed secrets, all you unpublished virtues of the earth, spring with my tears. Be aidant and remediate in the good man's distress. Seek for him, lest his ungoverned rage dissolve the life that wants the means to lead it. News, madam, the British powers are marching hitherward. 'Tis known before, our preparation stands in expectation of them. O dear father, it is thy business that I go about. Therefore great France my mourning and impotent tears hath pitied. No blown ambition doth our arms incite, But love, dear love, and our aged father's right, soon may I hear and see him, exeunt. Scene v. Gloucester's castle. Faith, he is posted hence on serious matter. It was great ignorance, Gloucester's eyes being out, to let him live. Where he arrives he moves all hearts against us. Edmund, I think, is gone, in pity of his misery, to dispatch his knighted life. Moreover, to discray the strength o' the enemy. Our troops set forth tomorrow. Stay with us, the ways are dangerous. I may not, madam. My lady charged my duty in this business. Why should she write to Edmund? Might not you transport her purposes by word? Belike something, I know not what, I'll love thee much, let me unseal the letter. Madam, I had rather. I know your lady does not love her husband, I am sure of that. And at her late being here she gave strange oelades and most speaking looks to noble Edmund. I know you are of her bosom. I, madam, I speak in understanding, you are I note, therefore I do advise you take this note, my lord is dead. Edmund and I have talked, and more convenient is he for my hand than for your lady's. You may gather more. If you do find him, pray you, give him this, and when your mistress hears thus much from you, I pray, desire her call her wisdom to her. So, fare you well. If you do chance to hear of that blind traitor, preferment falls on him that cuts him off. Would I could meet him, madam? I should show what party I do follow. Fare thee well. Exeunt. Scene vi. Fields near Dover. Why then, your other senses grow imperfect by your eyes' anguish. So may it be, indeed. Methinks thy voice is altered, and thou speakst in better phrase and matter than thou didst. You're much deceived. In nothing am I changed but in my garments. Methinks you're better spoken. Come on, sir. Here's the place. Stand still. How fearful and dizzy 'tis to cast one's eyes so low. The crows and chows that wing the midway air show scarce so gross as beetles. Halfway down hangs one that gathers samphire, dreadful trade. Methinks he seems no bigger than his head. The fishermen that walk upon the beach appear like mice, and yon tall anchoring bark diminished to her cock, a boy almost too small for sight. The murmuring surge, that on the unnumbered idle pebbles chafes, cannot be heard so high. I'll look no more, lest my brain turn, and the deficient sight topple down headlong. Set me where you stand. Give me your hand. You are now within a foot of the extreme verge, for all beneath the moon would I not leap upright. Let go my hand. Here, friend, s another purse, in it a jewel well worth a poor man's taking. Fairies and gods prosper it with thee. Go thou farther off, bid me farewell, and let me hear thee going. Kneeling. O you mighty gods, this world I do renounce, and in your sights shake patiently my great affliction off, if I could bear it longer, and not fall to quarrel with your great opposeless wills, my snuff and loathed pot of nature should burn itself out. If Edgar live, oh, bless him! Now, fellow, fare thee well. He falls forward. Gone, sir, farewell. And yet I know not how conceit may rub the treasury of life, when life itself yields to the theft. Had he been where he thought, by this had thought been past, alive or dead. Ho, you, sir, friend, hear you, sir, speak? Thus might he pass indeed, yet he revives. What are you, sir? Away, and let me die. Hadst thou been aught but gossamer, feathers, ere so many fathom down precipitating, thou'dst shivered like an egg, but thou dost breathe, haste heavy substance, bleedst not, speakst, aught sound. 10 masts at each make not the altitude which thou haste perpendicularly fell. Thy life's a miracle. Speak yet again. But have I fallen, or no? From the dread summit of this chalky bawn. Look up a height, the shrill-gauged lock so far cannot be seen or heard. Do but look up. Alack, I have no eyes. Is wretchedness deprived that benefit to end itself by death? 'Twas yet some comfort when misery could beguile the tyrant's rage and frustrate his proud will. This is above all strangeness. Upon the crown o' the cliff, what thing was that which parted from you? A poor unfortunate beggar. As I stood here below, methought his eyes were 2 full moons, he had 1,000 noses, horns whelked and waved like the enridged sea. It was some fiend. Therefore, thou happy father, think that the clearest gods who make them honours of men's impossibilities have preserved thee. I do remember now. Henceforth I'll bear affliction till it do cry out itself enough, and die. That thing you speak of, I took it for a man, often 'twould say, the fiend, the fiend. He led me to that place. The safest sense will ne'er accommodate his master thus. The trick of that voice I do well remember. Is he not the king? I, every inch a king when I do stare, see how the subject quakes, I pardon that man's life. What was thy cause? Adultery? Thou shalt not die for adultery? No, the wren goes to tea, and the small gilded fly does lecher in my sight. Let copulation thrive, for Gloucester's bastard son was kinder to his father than my daughters got 'tween the lawful sheets. To tea, luxury, pell-mell, for I lack soldiers. Behold yond simpering dame, whose face between her fox presages snow, that minces virtue, and does shake the head to hear of pleasure's name. The fichu, gnaw the soiled hoss, goes to tea with a more riotous appetite. Down from the waist they are centaurs, though women all above, but to the girdle do the gods inherit, beneath is all the fiends, O ruined piece of nature? This great world shall so wear out to naught. Dost thou know me? I would not take this from report, it is, and my heart breaks at it. Thou rascal beetle, hold thy bloody hand. Why dost thou lash that haw? Strip thine own back, thou hotly lusts to use her in that kind for which thou whipst her. The usurer hangs the cozener, through tattered clothes small vices do appear. Robes and furred gowns hide all. Plate sin with gold, and the strong lance of justice hurtless breaks. Arm in rags, a pygmy's straw does pierce it. None does offend, none, I say none. I'll able 'em, take that of me, my friend, who have the power to seal the accuser's lips. Get thee glass eyes, and like a scurvy politician, seem to see the things thou dost not. Now, pull off my boots, harder, so. If thou wilt weep my fortunes, take my eyes. I know thee well enough, thy name is Gloucester, thou must be patient, we came crying hither. Thou know'st, the first time that we smell the air, we waul and cry. I will preach to thee. Mark, alack the day? When we are born, we cry that we are come to this great stage of fools. This a good block. It were a delicate stratagem, to shoe a troop of hoss with felt. I'll put tea in proof, and when I have stolen upon these sons-in-law, then kill. Oh, here he is, lay hand upon him. Sir, your most dear daughter, no rescue, what, a prisoner? I am even the natural fool of fortune. Use me well, you shall have ransom. Let me have surgeons, I am cut to the brains. No seconds, all myself. Why, this would make a man of salt, to use his eyes for garden waterpots, aye, and laying autumn's dust. I will die bravely, like a bridegroom. What, I will be jovial. Come. I am a king, my masters, know you that? A sight most pitiful in the meanest wretch, past speaking of in a king. Thou hast one daughter, who redeems nature from the general curse which twain have brought her to. Hail, gentle sir. Sir, speed you, what's your will? Do you hear aught, sir, of a battle toward? Most sure and vulgar, every one hears that which can distinguish sound, but by your favor, how near's the other army? Near and on speedy foot, the main disgrace stands on the hourly thought. I thank you, sir, that's all. Though that the queen on special cause is here, her army is moved on. I thank you, sir. Exit, gentlemen. You ever gentle gods, take my breath from me. Let not my worse spirit tempt me again to die before you please. Well, pray you, father. Now, good sir, what are you? A most poor man, made tame to fortune's blows, who, by the art of known and feeling sorrows, am pregnant to good pity. Give me your hand, I'll lead you to some biding. Hearty thanks, the bounty and the benison of heaven to boot, a proclaimed prize. Most happy? That eyeless head of thine was first framed flesh to raise my fortunes. Thou old unhappy traitor, briefly thyself remember, the sod is out that must destroy thee. Now let thy friendly hand put strength enough taught. Edgar interposes. Wherefore, bold peasant, darest thou support a published traitor? Hence, lest that the infection of his fortune take like hold on thee. Let go his arm. Slave, thou hast slain me. Villain, take my purse. If ever thou wilt thrive, bury my body, and give the letters which thou find'st about me to Edmund Earl of Gloucester. Seek him out upon the British party. O, untimely death! Dies, I know thee well. A serviceable villain, as duteous to the vices of thy mistress as badness would desire. What, is he dead? Sit you down, father. Rest you, let's see these pockets. The letters that he speaks of may be my friends. He's dead. I am only sorry he had no other deathsman. Let us see. Leave, gentle wax, and manners, blame us not, to know our enemies' minds, weld rip their hearts, their papers is more lawful. Reads. Let our reciprocal vows be remembered. You have many opportunities to cut him off. If your will want not, time and place will be fruitfully offered. There is nothing done. If he return the conqueror, then am I the prisoner, and his bed my goal. From the loathed warmth whereof deliver me, and supply the place for your labor. Your wife, so I would say, affectionate servant, Goneril. O undistinguished space of woman's will, a plot upon her virtuous husband's life, and the exchange, my brother? Here in the sands the I'll rake up, the post unsanctified of murderous leches, and in the mature time with this ungracious paper strike the sight of the death-practised duke. For him 'tis well that of thy death and business I can tell. The king is mad. How stiff is my vile sense that I stand up and have ingenious feeling of my huge sorrows. Better I were distract, so should my thoughts be severed from my griefs, and woes by wrong imaginations lose the knowledge of themselves. Give me your hand, drum afar off. Far off. Methinks I hear the beaten drum. Come, father, I'll bestow you with a friend. Exeunt. Scene Roman 7. A tent in the French camp. Lear on a bed asleep, soft music playing, gentlemen and others attending. O thou good Kent, how shall I live and work to match thy goodness? My life will be too short, and every measure fail me. To be acknowledged, madam, is awe paid. All my reports go with the modest truth, naw ma naw clipped, but so be better suited. These weeds are memories of those worser hours. I prithee put them off. Pardon me, dear madam, yet to be known shortens my made intent. My boon I make it that you know me not till time and I think meet. Then bet so, my good lord. To the doctor, how does the king? O you kind gods, cure this great breach in his abused nature. The untuned and jarring senses, O, wind up of this child-changed father. So please your majesty that we may wake the king. He hath slept long. Be governed by your knowledge, and proceed I the sway of your own will. Is he arrayed? Aye, madam, in the heaviness of his sleep we put fresh garments on him. Be by, good madam, when we do awake him. I doubt not of his temperance. O my dear father, restoration hang thy medicine on my lips, and let this kiss repair those violent harms that my two sisters have in thy reverence made. Kind and dear princess, had you not been their father, these white flakes had challenged pity of them. Was this a face to be opposed against the warring winds, to stand against the deep, dread-bolted thunder, in the most terrible and nimble stroke of quick cross-lightning, to watch poor Perdue? With this thin helm? Mine enemy's dog, though he had bit me, should have stood that night against my fire. And wast thou fain, poor father, to hovel thee with swine, and rogues fall on, in shot and musty straw? Alack, alack! 'Tis wonder that thy life and wits at once had not concluded all. He wakes, speak to him. You do me wrong to take me out of the grave, thou art a soul in bliss, but I am bound upon a wheel of fire, that mine own tears do scald like molten lead. Where have I been? Where am I, fair daylight? I am mightily abused. I should e'en die with pity to see another thus. I know not what to say. I will not swear these are my hands. Let's see, I feel this pin prick. Would I were assured of my condition. Oh, look upon me, sir, and hold your hands in benediction on me. No, sir, you must not kneel. Pray, do not mock me. I am a very foolish fond old man, fourscore and upward, not an hour more nor less, and to deal plainly, I fear I am not in my perfect mind. Methinks I should know you, and know this man. Yet I am doubtful, for I am mainly ignorant what place this is, and all the skill I have remembers not these garments, nor I know not where I did lodge last night. Do not laugh at me, for as I am a man, I think this lady to be my child Cordelia. Be your tears wet? Yes, faith, I pray weep not. If you have poison for me, I will drink it. I know you do not love me, for your sisters have, as I do remember, done me wrong. You have some cause they have not. Be comforted, good madam, the great rage you see is killed in him, and yet it is danger to make him even all the time he has lost. Desire him to go in, trouble him no more till further settling. You must bear with me, pray you now, forget and forgive, I am old and foolish. Exeunt all but Kent and gentlemen, my point and period will be throughly wrought, all well or ill, as this day's battles fought. Exit. Act V. Scene I. The British camp near Dover. Know of the Duke if his lost purpose hold, all whether since he is advised by aught to change the course. He's full of alteration and self-reproving, bring his constant pleasure. To a gentleman who goes out. Now, sweet lord, you know the goodness I intend upon you, tell me, but truly? But then speak the truth, do you not love my sister? But have you never found my brother's way to the far-fended place? I am doubtful that you have been conjunct and bosomed with her, as far as we call hers. I never shall endure her, dear my lord, be not familiar with her. Fear me not, she and the Duke her husband? Aside, I had rather lose the battle than that sister should loosen him and me. Our very loving sister, well be met. Sir, this I hear. The king is come to his daughter, with others whom the rigor of our state forced to cry out. Where I could not be honest, I never yet was valiant. For this business it toucheth us, as France invades our land, not bolds the king, with others, whom I fear, most just and heavy causes make oppose. Combine together gainst the enemy, for these domestic and particular broils are not the question here. Let's then determine with the ancient of war on our proceedings. If e'er your grace had speech with man so poor, hear me one word. Before you fight the battle, ope this letter. If you have victory, let the trumpet sound for him that brought it. Wretched though I seem, I can produce a champion that will prove what is avouched there. If you miscarry, your business of the world hath so an end, and machination ceases. Fortune love you, I was forbid it. When time shall serve, let but the herald cry, and I'll appear again. The enemies in view, draw up your powers. Here is the guess of their true strength and forces by diligent discovery, but your haste is now urged on you. To both these sisters have I sworn my love, each jealous of the other, as the stung are of the adder. Which of them shall I take? Both, one, or neither? Neither can be enjoyed if both remain alive. To take the widow exasperates, makes mad her sister Goneril, and hardly shall I carry out my side, her husband being alive. Now then we'll use his countenance for the battle, which being done, let her who would be rid of him devise his speedy taking off. As for the mercy which he intends to Lear and to Cordelia, the battle done, and they within our power, shall never see his pardon, for my state stands on me to defend, not to debate. Exit. Scene room into a field between the two camps. Here, father, take the shadow of this tree for your good host, pray that the right may thrive. If ever I return to you again, I'll bring you comfort. Away, old man, give me thy hand, away. King Lear hath lost, he and his daughter Tan, give me thy hand, come on. What, in ill thoughts again? Men must endure their going hence even as their coming hither. Ripeness is all, come on. Scene room in 3, the British camp near Dover. Some officers take them away, good God, until their greater pleasures first be known that are to censure them. We are not the first who with best meaning have incurred the worst. For thee, oppressed king, am I cast down, myself could else outfrown false fortune's frown. Shall we not see these daughters and these sisters? No, 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 no. Come, let's away to prison. We two alone will sing like birds I' the cage. When thou dost ask me blessing, I'll kneel down and ask of thee forgiveness. So we'll live and pray and sing and tell old tales and laugh at gilded butterflies and hear poor rogues talk of caught news. And we'll talk with them too, who loses and who wins, who's in, who's out, and take upon's the mystery of things, as if we were God's spies, and we'll wear out in a walled prison packs and sects of great ones that ebb and flow by the moon. Upon such sacrifices, my Cordelia, the gods themselves throw incense. Have I caught thee? He that pots us shall bring a brand from heaven and fire us hence like foxes. Wipe thine eyes, the good years shall devour them flesh and fell, ere they shall make us weep, we'll see 'em starve first. Come. Exeunt King Lear and Cordelia guarded, come hither. Captain Hawke, take thou this note, giving a paper. Go follow them to prison, one step I have advanced thee, if thou dost as this instructs thee, thou dost make thy way to noble fortunes. Know thou this, that men are as the time is, to be tender-minded does not become a sod. Thy great employment will not bear question, either say thou'lt do tea, or thrive by other means, about it, and right happy when thou hast done. Mock, I say, instantly, and carry it so as I have set it down. I cannot draw a cot, nor eat dried oats if it be man's work, I'll do tea. Exit. Sir, you have shown today your valiant strain, and fortune led you well. You have the captives that were the opposites of this day's strife. We do require them of you, so to use them as we shall find their merits and our safety may equally determine. Sir, I thought it fit to send the old and miserable king to some retention and appointed God, whose age has charms in it, whose title maw, to pluck the common bosom on his side, and turn our impressed lances in our eyes which do command them. With him I sent the queen, my reason all the same, and they are ready tomorrow, or at further space, to appear where you shall hold your session. At this time we sweat and bleed. The friend hath lost his friend, and the best quarrels in the heat are cursed by those that feel their sharpness. The question of Cordelia and her father requires a fitter place. Sir, by your patience, I hold you but a subject of this war, not as a brother. That's as we list to grace him. Methinks our pleasure might have been demanded, ere you had spoke so far. He led our powers, bar the commission of my place and person, the which immediacy may well stand up and call itself your brother. Not so hot, in his own grace he doth exalt himself, more than in your addition. In my rights by me invested he compeers the best. Holla, holla? That I that told you so looked but ace quint. Lady, I am not well, else I should answer from a full-flowing stomach. General, take thou my soldiers, prisoners, patrimony, dispose of them of me. The walls are thine. Witness the world that I create thee here my lord and master. Stay yet, hear reason. Edmund, I arrest thee on capital treason, and, in thine attaint, this gilded serpent pointing to Goneril. For your claim, fair sister, I bar it in the interest of my wife. 'Tis she is subcontracted to this lord, and I, her husband, contradict your banns. If you will marry, make your loves to me, my lady is bespoke. Thou art armed, Gloucester, let the trumpet sound. If none appear to prove upon thy head thy heinous, manifest, and many treasons, there is my pledge, throwing down a glove. I'll prove it on thy heart, ere I taste bread. Thou art in nothing less than I have here proclaimed thee. There's my exchange, throwing down a glove. What in the world he is that names me traitor? Villain-like he lies, call by thy trumpet. He that dares approach on him on you, who not? I will maintain my truth and honour firmly. Trust to thy single virtue, for thy soldiers, all levied in my name, have in my name took their discharge. Come hither, herald, let the trumpet sound, and read out this. Ask him his purposes, why he appears upon this call o' the trumpet. What are you? Your name, your quality? And why you answer this present summons? No, my name is lost, by treason's tooth Banon and Cankabit, yet am I noble as the adversary I come to cope. Draw thy sword, that, if my speech offend a noble heart, thy arm may do thee justice. Here is mine. Behold, it is the privilege of mine honours, my oath, and my profession. I protest, maugre thy strength, youth, place, and eminence, despite thy victor's sword and fine new fortune, thy valour and thy heart, thou art a traitor, false to thy gods, thy brother, and thy father, conspirant gainst this high illustrious prince, and from the extremest upward of thy head to the descent and dust below thy foot, a most toad-spotted traitor. Say thou no, this sword, this arm, and my best spirits are bent to prove upon thy heart, whereto I speak, thou least. In wisdom I should ask thy name, but, since thy outside looks so fair and warlike, and that thy tongue some say of breeding breathes, what safe and nicely I might well delay by rule of knighthood, I disdain and spurn. Back do I toss these treasons to thy head, with the hell-hated lie o'erwhelm thy heart, which, for they yet glance by and scarcely bruise, this sword of mine shall give them instant way, where they shall rest for ever. Trumpets speak, alarums, they fight. Edmund falls. This is practice. Gloucester, by the law of arms thou wast not bound to answer an unknown opposite. Thou art not vanquished, but cozened and beguiled. Shut your mouth, dame, or with this paper shall I stop it. Hold, sir, thou worse than any name, read thine own evil. No tearing, lady, I perceive you know it. Gives the letter to Edmund. Say, if I do, the laws are mine, not thine, who can arraign me fought. Most monstrous, oh, know'st thou this paper? What you have charged me with, that have I done. And more, much more, the time will bring it out, 'tis past and so am I. But what art thou that haste this fortune on me? If thou art noble, I do forgive thee. Let's exchange charity. I am no less in blood than thou art, Edmund. If more, the more thou hast wronged me. My name is Edgar, and thy father's son. The gods are just, and of our pleasant vices make instruments to plague us, the dark and vicious place where he got cost him his eyes. Thou hast spoken right, 'tis true, the wheel is come full circle, I am here. Methought thy very gait did prophesy a royal nobleness, I must embrace thee. Let sorrow split my heart if ever I did hate thee or thy father. Where have you hid yourself? How have you known the miseries of your father? By nursing them, my lord. List a brief tale, and when 'tis told, oh, that my heart would burst. The bloody proclamation to escape that followed me so near, oh, our lives' sweetness, that we the pain of death would hourly die rather than die at once. Taught me to shift into a madman's rags, to assume a semblance that very dogs disdained. And in this habit met I my father with his bleeding rings, their precious stones new lost. Became his guide, led him, begged for him, saved him from despair. Never, O fault, revealed myself unto him, until some half-hour passed when I was armed. Not sure, though hoping, of this good success, I asked his blessing, and from first to last told him my pilgrimage. But his flawed heart, alack, too weak the conflict to support. Twixt two extremes of passion, joy and grief, burst smilingly. This speech of yours hath moved me, and shall perchance do good, but speak you on, you look as you had something more to say. If there be more woeful, hold it in, for I am almost ready to dissolve, hearing of this. This would have seemed a period to such as love not sorrow, but another, to amplify too much, would make much more, and top extremity. Whilst I was big in clamour came there in a man, who, having seen me in my worst estate, shunned my abhorred society. But then, finding who 'twas that so endured, with his strong arms he fastened on my neck, and bellowed out as he burst heaven. Threw him on my father, told the most piteous tale of Lear and him that ever ear received, which in recounting his grief grew puissant, and the strings of life began to crack. Twice then the trumpets sounded, and there I left him tranced. Kent, sir, the banished Kent, who in disguise followed his enemy king, and did him service improper for a slave. 'Tis hot, it smokes, it came even from the heart of, oh, she's dead. Your lady, sir, your lady, and her sister by her is poisoned, she hath confessed it. I was contracted to them both. All three now marry in an instant. Produce their bodies, be they alive or dead. This judgment of the heavens that makes us tremble, touches us not with pity. Exit, gentlemen. Oh, is this he? The time will not allow the compliment which very manners urges. I am come to bid my king and master I good night. Is he not here? Great thing of us forgot. Speak, Edmund, where's the king? And where's Cordelia? Seest thou this object, Kent? Yet Edmund was beloved, the one the other poisoned for my sake, and after slew herself. I pant for life, some good I mean to do, despite of mine own nature. Quickly send, be brief in it, to the castle, for my writ is on the life of Lear and on Cordelia, nay, send in time. To who, my lord? Who hath the office? Send thy token of reprieve. Well thought on. Take my sword, give it the captain. He hath commission from thy wife and me to hang Cordelia in the prison, and to lay the blame upon her own despair, that she fought it herself. Howl, 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 howl. Oh, you are men of stones, had I your tongues and eyes, I'ld use them so that heaven's vault should crack. She's gone forever? I know when one is dead, and when one lives, she's dead as earth. Lend me a looking-glass, if that her breath will mist or stain the stone, why then she lives. This feather stirs, she lives. If it be so, it is a chance which does redeem all sorrows that ever I have felt. A plague upon you, murderers, traitors all. I might have saved her, now she's gone forever. Cordelia, Cordelia, stay a little. Ha, what is't thou say'st? Her voice was ever soft, gentle, and low, an excellent thing in woman. I killed the slave that was a-hanging thee. Did I not, fellow? I have seen the day, with my good biting falchion I would have made them skip. I am old now, and these same crosses spoil me. Who are you? Mine eyes are not o' the best, I'll tell you straight. If fortune brag of two she loved and hated, one of them we behold. The same, your servant Kent. Where is your servant Caius? He's a good fellow, I can tell you that. He'll strike, and quickly too. He's dead and rotten. That from your first of difference and decay, have followed your sad steps. Nor no man else, all's cheerless, dark, and deadly. Your eldest daughters have fought on themselves, and desperately are dead. He knows not what he says, and vain it is that we present us to him. That's but a trifle here. You lords and noble friends know our intent. What comfort to this great decay may come shall be applied. For us we will resign, during the life of this old majesty, to him our absolute power, to Edgar and Kent, you to your rights, with boot, and such addition as your honours have more than merited. All friends shall taste the wages of their virtue, and all foes the cup of their deservings. Oh, see, and my poor fool is hanged? No, no, no life. Why should a dog, a hoss, a rat have life, and thou no breath at all? Thou'lt come no more, never, 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 never. Pray you undo this button. Thank you, sir. Do you see this? Look on her, look, her lips, look there. Dies, vex not his ghost, oh, let him pass. He hates him much that would upon the rack of this tough world stretch him out longer. The wonder is, he hath endured so long, he but usurped his life. Bear them from hence. Our present business is general woe. To Kent and Edgar. Friends of my soul, you twain rule in this realm, and the God-state sustain. I have a journey, sir, shortly to go. My master calls me, I must not say no. The weight of this sad time we must obey. Speak what we feel, not what we ought to say. The oldest hath borne most. We that are young shall never see so much, nor live so long. Exeunt with a dead march. Colofin King Lear was published in 1606 by William Shakespeare. This ebook was produced for Standard eBooks by David Grigg, and is based on a transcription produced in 1993 by Jeremy Hilton for the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and on digital scans from the Hathai Trust Digital Library. The cover page is adapted from King Lear, a painting completed in 1788 by Benjamin West. The cover and title pages feature the League Spartan and Sots Mill Gaudy typefaces created in 2014 and 2009 by the League of Movable Type. This edition was released on June 26, 2025, 6:39 p.m., and is based on revision 8E573FF. The first edition of this ebook was released on November 9, 2020, 9:49 p.m. You can check for updates to this ebook, view its revision history, or download it for different e-reading systems at standardbooksorg/ebooks/William-Shakespeare/King Lear. The volunteer-driven Standard eBooks project relies on readers like you to submit typos, corrections, and other improvements. Anyone can contribute at Standard Booksorg. Dramatis Personae Lear, King of Britain, King of France, Duke of Burgundy, Duke of Cornwall, Duke of Albany, Earl of Kent, Earl of Gloucester, Edgar. Son to Gloucester Edmund, bastard son to Gloucester Curin, a courtier old man, tenant to Gloucester Dr. Fool Oswald, steward to Goneril, a captain employed by Edmund gentleman attendant on Cordelia, a herald servants to Cornwall Goneril, Regan, Cordelia, daughters to Lear knights of Lear's train, captains, messengers, soldiers, and attendants seen, Britain. Imprint this ebook is the product of many hours of hard work by volunteers for Standard ebooks, and builds on the hard work of other literature lovers made possible by the public domain. This particular ebook is based on a transcription from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and on digital scans from the Hathai Trust Digital Library. The source text and artwork in this ebook are believed to be in the United States public domain. That is, they are believed to be free of copyright restrictions in the United States. They may still be copyrighted in other countries, so users located outside of the United States must check their local laws before using this ebook. The creators of and contributors to this ebook dedicate their contributions to the worldwide public domain via the terms in the CC 01.0 Universal Public Domain Dedication. For full license information, see the uncopyright at the end of this ebook. Standard eBooks is a volunteer-driven project that produces ebook editions of public domain literature using modern typography, technology, and editorial standards, and distributes them free of cost. You can download this and other ebooks carefully produced for true book lovers at standardbooks.org.